The toilets are that way, by the way. Anyway, my name's Angel. What I do tonight is a light-hearted evening. I don't take myself seriously. I take what I do seriously, but not myself seriously. So we're in for a bit of a fun evening, which is obviously for CLIC Sargent. That's what it says on the tin. Half of all ticket sales go to CLIC Sargent. We pay for advertising out of my own money, so thank you very much for coming and supporting a lovely cause, which is obviously for is a childhood cancer-based charity. I'll drop anything else on the floor. I'll drop my own head in a minute. At the same time, right? Try again. First time lucky. So what I do this evening, I do an introduction into what it is I do and how I do it. The majority of the time is going to be connected to people in the audience giving you messages of a psychic and mediumistic nature. Just for the record, we will come up with breaks during the course of the evening, mainly from 8:30 till about 10 to 9, then 9:45 till 10, and then after 10 till 10:30 it's a bit of a free-for-all. I'll explain what happens after that. So you can get your spirits of the alcoholic variety from behind the bar upstairs. On a point of health and safety, by the way, if I spontaneously self-combust or my hair catches fire on the candle, the fire exits that way, or just through the toilets outside on the left. And if things get really scary, the toilets are outside, just outside here. Not literally outside, but anyway, each to their own. So this evening, I do an introduction into what it is doing and how I do it. Like I said, I connect to people in the audience giving you messages of a psychic and mediumistic nature. I am a psychic and I am a medium. They're two completely different disciplines. I just happen to be both. A psychic is, for people who have been to this sort of thing before, so sorry if people have heard this before or understand what it is, but I may as well just explain. A psychic is someone who has the ability to see what's coming up in your lives. And an evening like this, I do this mainly by seeing and reading auras. Everybody in this room has felt an aura. You've only got to meet someone for the first time and take an instant like or dislike them for no apparent reason, or you walk into a room and it feels welcoming or eerie. It's the aura that you're interacting with. And even if somebody's standing in your personal space, unless they've got a personal hygiene problem, the tendency is to sort of step back a bit because they're interacting with your aura. An aura on a person is at its strongest around the head. So if I'm staring intently above your head tonight, it is not because you have got a bad hairdo on the go or an infestation of nits. It's just that aura is stronger here. And I've been seeing aura since I was about 9 years old, and I've learned that different colours mean different things, and different combination of colours can mean different things. And that's, it's not that you look like Marjorie Simpson or something, it's just it's very strong around here. So I look at the colours and them upstairs tell me what to say. I also work clairvoyantly. Clairvoyance is a French word meaning clear seeing, and in my mind's eye I see pictures and thoughts that aren't my own. So if I said to you, think of a black cat or a pink umbrella or your car or your front door, you're going to have a picture in your head that wasn't there a minute ago, and all I'm doing is I'm describing what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Sometimes when I'm looking at people, I also see little icons, pictures, or people that passed over stood right next to you, and that's another form of clairvoyance. It's called mental mediumship, and trust me, it's enough to drive around the twist. Psychotic readings by John Angel Ghost, but anyway. So I see describe what I'm seeing in my head as well as what I see with my eyes. I'm working with the third eye though, which is mainly located here. So the very nature of the clairvoyance though is that what I'm saying at the time of the reading probably doesn't make a great deal of sense. I'll explain why in a minute. I also work clairaudiently. Clairaudience is a French... Hold on, they're already yapping on in my ear. Maybe we've got started yet, but it's all happening. Sorry, I've got a very stupid sense of humour. Anyway. Clairaudience is a French word meaning clear hearing. To my right-hand side, I hear very faint whispers. So something like the name Kelly could sound like Ellie or Shelley, or Ellie even. So there's, I'll just basically describe to you what they're saying. They also show me, and when I'm saying to you, they're saying this, they're saying that, I'm describing what looks like a movie going on in my head. It's in colour usually, unless I'm being shown a black and white photograph or something. and I'm saying they're saying this and they're saying that. So I'm basically interpreting the pictures I'm seeing, because some psychics are more clairvoyant, some are more clairaudient, some are more clairsentient. I'm a bit of jack of all trades, but clairvoyance is my main thing. So to my right hand side, I'm hearing pictures and thoughts that aren't my own, and I'm basically telling you what I'm hearing as well. Everybody in this room has had clairsentience, because if ever you've said, I've got a funny feeling that X, Y, and Z is going to happen, or I've got a funny feeling about this person, or that doesn't feel right, or I'm not going to drive that way home tonight, I'm going to go that way, only to find out there was an accident, or there's a road blocked, or whatever. You're basing something you don't know on your gut feeling and your gut instinct. So when you have funny feelings, we're using this part of the body. I was a medium at one time, more like a triple XL now, but never mind. Use this part of the body to project how far forward in time an event is going to occur, or how far back in time an event happened. It's your gut feeling, your gut instinct, and your sixth sense, which I believe isn't reserved to select few. We've all got it. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. It is something that can be used to get a hunch of things. A lot of us tend to use our analytical minds. Our gut feeling will say, whatever you do, don't buy this, or don't get that, or go that way, not that way, and you rule it out thinking, I'm being silly, and your mind overtakes your gut feeling, only to find out that your intuition was correct after all. So the clairsentience I use to get the feel for things. I use it on a psychic level to project forward in time and backwards in time, a bit like being a walking time machine, I guess. And that's accessible to all of us. We've all had it at some stage. And like I said, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. If you get the urge to ring someone for some reason, ring them. There'll be a reason why. So the psychic nature of tonight is what often won't make a fantastic deal of sense to you. I'm living evidence of this. I remember seeing a tarot reader in 1999. He said, you'll work for yourself. I said, no, I won't. I'll be in the police service for 30 years, because that's what I was doing at the time. He then went on to say, you'll get married. I said, the hell I will. Everyone in my family has got married and divorced. I've now done it twice. He said, you'll have children. I said, no, you're getting confused. My sister, I'm a career person. I've got 3 boys of my own and several stepchildren as well. But at the time I thought, what a waste of 35 quid. I'm not going to bother seeing him again. It's not about anyone else, but what I plan in my life and what actually happens in reality are 2 different things. However, just because the psychic says this, and this is going to happen, doesn't necessarily mean it has to or it will, because I do believe in free will. I do believe that we do have a choice over most of what's going on in our lives. So keeping an open mind to psychic side doesn't mean to have blind faith in anything. I don't think that's healthy. And I do think we should make our own choices, but a psychic will tend to tell you what's likely to happen, the way I describe it when I'm doing one-to-one readings, what is likely to happen based on your current circumstances. I am a medium too, well I was. A medium is basically a bridge between this world and the next. And for the people that haven't been to this kind of evening tonight, there's every chance that you'll see ghosts and apparitions appearing. So if you see me running, so really dodgy's going on, try to keep up. No, that's not going to happen really, I'm winding you up. Medium, sorry, I'll be really silly tonight. I've got white one on me, it's the last event of the year, I think, that's the plan anyway. I mean, a medium is someone that can communicate with your friends, relations and pets no longer here in person. If now I've said that, I've probably made a move back. It's highly unlikely that you'll see ghosts and apparitions appearing. People pay good money to try and have that kind of experience, and it doesn't happen very often. However, if you do see everyone else running, try to keep up. And I mean, they talk about people coming through. They're not going to be coming, or not that I've planned anyway, not through the walls, or the air vents, or toffee crisps coming down from the ceiling, or ectoplasm coming out of me, or anything like that. When they talk about people coming through, they mean about communicating with your friends, relations, and sometimes pets no longer here in person. A good psychic medium, or clairvoyant medium, or good medium full stop, whatever label you want to put on it, should tell you something that makes you understand, in no uncertain terms, by my standards, that the person they are saying is talking to you makes sense. I've been to places and they've said, oh, there's a little lady here with grey hair that loves you very much. Do you know what? I can think of one of them. And oh, you've been working terribly hard, you need a rest. Guess what? Me too. So vagueness, I don't do. I can't make them talk, but I can ask them questions. So when I'm going quiet tonight, or if I'm midway through a conversation, I'm going quiet, it's because I'm asking your lot questions. So medium cannot make your friends and relations turn up any more than unless you're here to keep the other half quiet or you're a designated driver. No one can drag you here either. They've probably got better things to do with their time, to be honest with you. They're probably all circling and flying around God's armpit as we think, oh, what shall I do tonight? Oh no, there's a gig on down at Wetherspoons, let's all hang out down there. And as much as it might look like a crematorium on tour with me, they're here because you're here, and when you go home, they go home with you. They don't follow me around. Nor do they hang out at Wetherspoons thinking, oh, I'll have a quick swifty one behind the bar. With the mediumship, and this is one thing that I've always found a bit strange, but I can only speak for myself, I can't speak for other mediums. They come through in a strange order. It is a bit like going to a family gathering. Were you? That's nice for you. Okay. Right then. It's a bit like going to a family gathering. The first person that you see or hear at the party isn't necessarily who you want to hear from the most. And it's a good idea to get the most out of your evening if you have an open mind as to who comes through for you, because you will, believe it or not, hear from friends and relations that passed before you're born. You might not necessarily know them. Sometimes we get gate crashers turn up, in other words, not literally. Well, I don't know, it's Wetherspoons said. Oh, sorry. You get people that will introduce other people turning up to this kind of event. So, keep an open mind, and a good psychic medium should tell you things even you don't know. So you have to go away and verify, all right, crikey, this man is all right. Interesting character, if you put it that way. Watch, all right, partly watch. Sorry, he's getting impatient with me. Hold on, now I've lost my train of thought. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to you at the same time as dealing with this man. Yeah, a good medium should tell you things that you can go away and verify and find out if it was true. I will give you the opportunity to ask them questions. So if you want to know what's next week's lottery numbers, where the keys to the shed is, or where is the family silver stash, start thinking now, because I never remember anything I've said. People come up and say hello to me in the street, I haven't got a clue who they are, because one, I don't look a great deal with these eyes, I'm working with this one, and also all that comes out of my mouth tonight is not generated from my own brain or experience. It is a channeled information. I've got them going on and I'm passing on what I'm hearing. There's what it says on tin, bridge on a phone line. But your friends' relations go blah, 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 you're on the receiving end. And from that note, it is helpful if you can give me an audible yes, no, or don't know answer to information I'm relaying to you. Please don't say yes to be helpful. If what I'm saying to you doesn't make sense, there is no point saying yes. If you say no to test me, that's fine. If I wanted to talk to converted few, I'd work exclusively in spiritualist churches. And if you don't know, just say I don't know. Try not to feed the medium. If you go to see any psychic medium, they should not be firing you with questions. They should tell you it's not an interview. Okay, because people haven't said, oh, I was a copper at once upon a time, somebody had to do it. People think, oh, she might be reading body language or using investigative interviewing techniques. Well, the day I need to do that is the day I'm going to get a normal job like anybody else. It literally happened to me at the age of 27 overnight. If I married my first husband, I wouldn't be a medium, because when his grandmother died, literally, she latched on to me overnight. I thought I was going mad. I went down to the doctors. As I was in dead people, they're telling me things, and they said, oh, have a sick note and some Prozac and Valium, that will sort you out. And then I used it in the police force, as you probably would have read on a little leaflet, to save people's lives and do quite well out of the job. But then if I hadn't put a whistleblower report in the police, then I wouldn't be doing this full-time job today. So things happen for a reason, no matter how crazy it sounds. Anyway, so yeah, start thinking of anything you want to know. If you have a mobile phone on, It's fine, but please don't have a massive long conversation with your long lost lover, because when I'm working and the kitchen noise sounds extra loud to me when I'm working, tuning in. So any other background noise can be a little bit off-putting. I tend to lose my train of thought. What else can I tell you? Yes, we'll take breaks. Yes, use a do. Mobile phones. The interesting thing as well, this is where it gets really crazy. Legally, all psychics, mediums and healers have to say this has to be seen as a form of entertainment, the results of which cannot be guaranteed. I don't follow any religion, sect, cult or belief, nor am I opposed to any. I always say to people, take out of this what makes sense to you and throw away the rest, not here to preach or try to convert people. But the Witchcraft Act, or the last Witchcraft Act of 1752, was replaced by the I do live in Old Witch Road, how about that? It's a fact, number 28 actually. I think I'm Bergen Mouse, no, very weird. The Witchcraft Act of 1752 was replaced by the Fraudulent Medium Act of 1951 that said all psychics, mediums and healers should work for free unless their services are seen as a form of entertainment. We now come under the Consumer Protection Act, whereby, wait for it, thanks for Tony Blair, if you're vulnerable, gullible, or of a nervous disposition, you should have a second opinion about whether this kind of evening is suitable for you, and if not, have a refund now and leave if you wish. Now, you don't see that at the end of Songs of Praise, and my answer to that is I wish the Reverend at my first wedding guaranteed that didn't work out either. And if you weren't vulnerable, nervous, or gullible before you came in tonight, you probably will be by the time you leave. Anyway, by law, I have to tell you that. So, have a second opinion if you think you're a bit not sure about this whole thing. I do think it's got a valid point to an extent, though, just like any other occupation, you get your cowboy builders and the dodgy solicitors and all the rest of it, but still, by law I have to tell you that. So it's in for a fun night. I never know where I'm going to start until they put me right on the spot. I think I've covered what I need to say. And now I need you to fasten your seatbelts, hold on to your hats, because we're going to make up your own ghost story. All right then. Frank, you are doing my head in. Right now. Never have you back to the audience, by the way. Okay. Right. He hasn't stopped talking the whole time I've been doing my introduction, and now I need to know where are you going? Right, okay. Normally I can tell where I feel like I'm more stay tuned this end, but I'm getting pulled round here, and I'll nail it in a minute. There is a man who's been talking over the top of me, or it's been going on in my ear while I've been doing the introduction. He got me to write down the name Frank, but it could be a sounding name like Fred or Philip, because like I said earlier on, I'm more clairvoyant rather than clairaudient. As is appearing to me at the moment, I'm probably what shoes I've got tonight. I'm about 5 foot, probably 9 with these shoes on. He's probably presenting himself as a roundabout, probably similar height, probably a bit taller than me, with dark hair and I'd say green hazy eyes. He's a clean shaven man as I'm seeing him now, and as he's presenting himself now, and they will show themselves at their best, not necessarily, I won't see people as they're sick, ill or dying. He's presenting himself with quite dark brown hair that's straight and slightly swept to one side. The thing that's standing out about him is he's quite proud of this navy blue press-studded overall, which I can only assume he would only ever wear for work. And he had to clock in and clock out of his work. He's on about the machine. You literally have to put the piece of cardboard in to clock in or clock out. Now, let me just turn this down so I can hear the crackling of the off-putting. As I'm seeing this man now, because of his dark hair, he's not. I would probably. He might well have made it into his 60s or older, but he doesn't look particularly old as I'm seeing now. Maybe pre-retirement age, or 63, 64. 65, 66 seems to be, and 67 feels more like it. Right. Let's move that out of the way. I'll sort this out in the break, sorry. He's also, okay, oh no, making reference to having quite, yeah, you did, didn't you? Quite an engineer, well, no, yeah, it's an engineering mind, but I could fix pretty much anything. If you needed a clock that needs fixing, he'd actually enjoy the challenge of being able to work out how to put things back together again and fix things. I know you keep talking about your watch. It's almost like the person I meant to link to would have either brought a watch with them tonight belonging to this man, or thought about bringing a watch belonging to this man. A round face wristwatch, probably is a leather strap. I'm pulling it and folding it back on itself to slide it back in. And now he showed me a dome-shaped clock. I don't think he's necessarily a clock watcher, but maybe he was an avid fan of timekeeping. Okay, thank you. And he says, I'm with Jimmy. So James, Jimmy is someone also spirit side that he would be with or associate with. Anyone relating to this at the moment, please? Ah, that's interesting because I've already written a load of information down about you. It's on there. Okay, funny enough. Okay, if I explain this a bit more. The other thing, when you came in, just stay tuned because sometimes we can get wires crossed or they all pile in at once. But it's a bit like going to an escalator, you know, everyone, if the first person that doesn't stop, then all the rest of them start queuing back. My attention was drawn to these two pictures, which I've worked in this room about 3 or 4 times this year. I never noticed them before, but it made me wonder whether he had anything to do with mechanics, cars, and engineering, rover. But they were all interested in it. What else did I wrote it here, but I'll just stay tuned just in case. Have you, my watch, have you got his watch with you? Were you going to bring a watch?
I've got my dad's watch.
Does any of what I've just said make sense though?
His heart, but he was quite elderly when he passed.
Is he 80?
Yes.
Right. 2 seconds. I've got stuff written down for you, definitely. But you've got your dad's watch,
yeah.
Right? Because he's on about this and the time. I can't see. Sorry, I'm talking to him, not you. Not real. They're not. Okay. He said I had both, but the one she's got on has that watch got normal numerals on it?
Yeah.
Because he's got 2. Because I said, what's on it? And he said normal numerals,
yeah.
Not Roman numerals, but he had one with Roman numerals as well.
This is Roman.
Okay. Is the face a goldy colour?
Yeah.
Right. I'm definitely with you then. Can you?
No, it's white, but it's gold.
Round the thing. Can you understand the sounding name like Frank, Fred, Francis? Okay, don't worry about that, but just remember that though, because there'll be a reason why I heard it. Or it's like a sounding, could be Philip or Phyllis or a sounding name. And also, and you might have to go away and think, because it doesn't all, at the time you're thinking, I remember someone saying to me once, oh, your auntie Flo's here, so I ain't got an auntie Flo, apparently we have. But he's also making reference to sort of being with Jimmy.
And his father was James, Jim.
Right, thank you. Now, he's just, as I'm talking to you now, I'm hearing your voice, because it's like picking up a phone line, so this is Dad, and on the phone line, and you're on the receiving end. He's telling me to tell you about, he's showing you loads of daffodils. When they show you daffodils, usually March or April are significant months, or sometimes there's Welsh, thank you, all those Welsh connections. You say, no, March and April. Would you understand there's a smaller lady that's, would his height make sense about here?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a clean-shaven man, dark hair, swept to one side slightly, because he's not showing him in his 80s, he looks more like 66, 67, as I'm seeing him at the moment. And would you understand the blue, clocking in or clocking out?
Yeah, he was an electrical engineer.
Right, thank you. Okay, we're from engineering. Cheers, Dad. I said it was a pint of bitter, but anyway. There's a lady, he's got his arm around that's significantly shorter in height to him. And what she was referring to was, well, you won't let her get a word in edgeways. She's a lot shorter than him, but she's given me quite a quiet lady as she's coming across now, quite softly spoken. Oh right, okay. Dad's is like, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have done this when I say on the earth plane. I mean like when he was alive, just to be one into sort of thing. I use earth plane here, spirit side on the other side, crossed over interchangeably, but I'm on about them upstairs. They're more alive than us. So I don't like to use the word dead because they're more alive than we are. But anyway, but he's wanting to sort of push her out the way and say, no, I've got so much to say, because you've actually had your dad come to you very recently. Their idea of time is totally different to ours. Recently to them could be about 4 years ago. Recently to me is like 2 seconds ago. But he said recently, so he should have come through to you in dreams. Definitely that's happened recently. You must have dreamt about him recently. He's saying recently, unless you've got a sister with you.
She's in spirit.
Well, they don't have to dream about him, they're with him. Does she have a breast cancer condition? Who had the problem with here? Okay, don't worry, I'll come on to that in a minute. Well, he's saying recently, he said December, so this doesn't happen, it's probably happening imminently. Like I said, they've got no concept of timing over there. It's like, you know, they'll turn up even before people get it. No, you need to make that a bit clearer, thanks. Okay, so just bear with me 2 seconds, I'm absolutely on fire. No. What I'm hearing him saying is, I like what you've done with my book. And I'm asking him to elaborate on that, because what I saw was like, it looked like some kind of instruction manual with black and white pictures inside, and I've got a leather-bound book, and I'm wondering if he actually had a collection of encyclopedias. I've got to tell you this. If you haven't already got a book on motor mechanics and engineering, there must be one of his in your possession or amongst his belongings. It absolutely has to be, because he's showing me it's red. It's like a burgundy red with gilt writing on the front. It's got he says, like we've done my book, and I was thinking, is this book he wrote or what? And it's just showing me the pictures, but it's an instruction manual. But it's more to do with motor, can come back to motor mechanics. I know she did. Well, obviously she did, otherwise you wouldn't have mentioned the watch, would you? Sorry, he just said, she asked me to come here tonight, so you asked your dad to come here tonight. And I'm saying, well, of course you did, otherwise why would you have mentioned a watch in the first place and all the rest that goes with it? And he's saying, you must know this Frank, he's not letting it go. And I'm saying, well, tell me about Frank then. And he's showing me boats and yachts. There's something to do with boats and yachts. You'll find out, because like I said, they should tell us what you don't know. No, you do know. You do know. He's having none of it. You do know, because this man has something to do with Brixham and Devon.
He used to go there on holiday.
Right, it's with his mate Frank. He's on Brixham, Devon. And I'm actually looking at the Golden Hind, not saying that Frank... wasn't that something to do with Francis? Google it. Francis, Golden Hind, Brixham, I don't know. Anyway, it's not the boat, the whole boat thing going. They can't get a word in. $27. You made reference to having a sister spirit side. I've got she's just stepped on, that sounds weird, don't get freaked out. When they step inside me, I become them. They use me as I don't know, like a puppet, I guess. I'll be given I feel like I'm 27 years old at the moment. They pick a strange age, and sometimes they go up or down the age scale. I feel like I'm 27. I'm a lot slimmer than I am. And she's got her hair is a bit lighter than yours, but it comes to here. And she's got sort of bluey green eyes, her unusual colour. They're like a light bluey green colour here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing Julie Andrews in my head, and I want to kind of go and sing and dance and goodness knows what else. But I've got a joy of life and possibly a love of children or musicals or something, because I just feel that I've got this. She's on about, she showed me Julie Andrews. Let's just get confused with me, because I was actually named after her, and trust me, I can't sing. Not even happy birthday to you. And that's a fact. Were you? No, it's not you. What she's doing, she's stepping in and stepping out. We'll come to other people tonight, just let me just work this one woman out though. Because I feel like I've got problems with my kidneys, and that's not her, that's someone else. Someone else is here as well. I've got kidney, my lower back aches, and usually that's to do with kidney problems. Just a yes or no, please. Did your sister have a sounding name?
Yes.
Like Susan, Sarah? Susan. She's confusing me a bit, because she keeps wanting to give me a bracelet as well, but then takes it away. I've got a bracelet and taken it away. It's like just a gold chain bracelet, not a bangle, and then takes it away. And again, that may or may not be something you thought of or have brought with you, but it's like a bracelet when she takes it. Oh, would you be aware that she had problems with her sugar levels, please? I feel like I'm on faint.
Not that I'm
Not you're aware, okay. Oh, don't get freaked out because sometimes we don't get a telegram from God. I can get it wrong. I heard Mom's with us now. Okay? Is this the little lady that can't get a word in edgeways, right? We've got this this is what your sister said, Mom's with us now. This is the lady that's sitting here that wants to give you like a literal posy of flowers, because that's what you would have picked for her. I want to hold a buttercup under your chin. And she's shown like just she loved even wildflowers, daisies, buttercups. I can smell lavender, help you sleep, rosemary. She actually would have been quite good at using nature's ways to heal as healing remedies. Oh, right, okay. The other thing, and I don't want them to, once they get a link, they will talk all night long, we'll have to get a lock-in and everything. But I'm also just literally being shown a photograph I believe to be in existence of, okay, let's turn that way around so it's easier. We've got Dad here, Mum there, sister there. Have you got such a photograph? Okay, they're all standing up, no one's sitting down. Dad's here, he's got a shirt and tie on. Tie's got a bit of a stripy thing on the go. Mum's here and sister's there. You're not in the photograph, but actually, were you young? You must be the younger sister. But you're not in the photograph that I can see. Anyway, okay. Anything you want to ask for you? Or them, sorry.
I just miss them.
Well, don't, because they're at Wetherspoons with you tonight. You brought them here. And you asked them to come here anyway, allegedly. Well, I trust them, what not people say, I trust what they say. So it's just, the way I describe this applies to everybody now. I personally believe, and not here to preach about anything, but you take out of tonight, like I said, what makes sense, you chuck away the rest, but they're all like walking television sets. We're all capable of transmitting and receiving. So when you're sitting there thinking, I want you to come through, they're picking up the receiving and answering us. And the other thing, again, even if I can't get around everybody tonight, as much as I try to do my best, but I can't get around everyone, can't guarantee that at all. It's like a demonstration of psychic mediumship, rather than a one-to-one reading. But when you see synchronistic symbols, sometimes a light bulb goes, sometimes feathers appear, sometimes a bird of a certain description appears, or you're thinking of them and then you see, I remember I was thinking of my dad once, who's now on the other side, and then there's a Paul Matthews I don't know, lorry parked up in the lay-by opposite my house, and his name is obviously Paul Matthews. So they will give you little signs and symbols, or you hear a song, or you see something in a magazine, and so they will let you know they're around. People know, but they ask me, oh, was that them when the photograph moved? Was that them when I got the funny smell? Was that them that this and this happened? And I'm thinking, well, you actually know the answer yourself. You don't need me to tell you that. We know. You know when they're around, and they know you miss them. They come to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Anything else you wanted to ask today? Thank you. Right then, I'll go on that breather. Big slug of the caffeine. Makes you do stupid things even faster, but never mind. Okay. Can I come back to this lady here, please? Because I did write down a load of I'll run this by you, because again, I know it's not the same person, because with this lady's dad, I saw dark hair, and he presents himself in his 60s, or he passed in his 80s. But the chap I saw around you had silver grey hair, and he wore glasses, if only for reading or driving. He said I was very good, he's given me tools, I felt I was very good with a screwdriver, and he was on about twisting and turning things. Can I just make sure, I want to go and bang my hand on top of a television set now, so I would assume that you and yours, but somebody has got a problem with a TV set not tuning in or getting not picking up on properly at the moment. Who's David or Davis, by the way, please? Okay. Let's make sure I'm definitely with you. Okay. What did he say? So this is your information now. Can you keep an open mind just in case it's a grandfather rather than a father?
Yeah.
I've got, and this is definitely for you because I saw him, and he's still there now. It's a man, it's stood to your right hand side. You can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
And he's there now. He's like saying, no, it's here. Clean shaven man. His hair's silvery grey. As I'm seeing him now, clean shaven, no beard, no moustache. He's put on some spectacles, but they've got a dark frame at the top. I get the feeling he might have only needed this later on in life, rather than having to wear them from childhood and whatnot. He's holding up a Phillips screwdriver for whatever reason. So what I'm going to read from that is that he would have been quite clever, be able to fix things, or clever with tools. I just found it quite difficult to take a deep breath in. Please don't think they've got any physical problems anymore, because they haven't. It's just purely the clairsentience that's used for mediumship as well as the psychic side. And so he had a respiratory problem, or maybe he was smoked. I got the feeling I can smell smoke going past my nose. He's quite a, although he's certainly by no means a loud character. If anything, he wouldn't say a lot, but if he had something to say, it'd be quite direct. You know, he didn't suffer fools gladly, this man. If someone upset him, or if he thought something was wrong, or principles or morals were wrong, he would say, that's not right. He showed me literally black and white in my head, as if to say, you either do something or you don't, you're either honest or you're not. And there wasn't a grey area in between. He's given me slight stomach, or I've got problems around my stomach area, bowel, or prostrate or something. And he was a proud man, and he wouldn't have been. Who does? He didn't do poor health too well. That would have annoyed him actually, and I feel quite frustrated at having to put up with not so good health, having enjoyed previously good health. Did you? Thank you. That's very. I just heard a blast. It felt like a bomb go off or something, and I believe he said, because I see the camouflage uniform at the corner of my eye in the background, he would have done time in service as well, or there's something to do with the military, because I heard a bomb go off. He's here to encourage you about, I'm asking what you're here for, he says, I'm here to tell her to follow her path, to follow your path, to listen to your heart. It will always tell you what to do, to trust your intuition more, which you battle with. So when they were talking earlier on about not letting your head rule your heart, to follow your heart, that's what you need to do more of. Well, I know that. Okay, just yes or no, please. Did you do either or both cleaning and care work at some stage ever?
No. Oh.
Ever?
Cleaning I've done.
But not caring as such?
No.
Right. One thing I've noticed about several things, cleaners, factory workers, and sometimes long-distance lorry drivers, is that they are extremely intuitive, because when you're doing the same, or anything that involves doing the same thing over and over again, not having to think about it too much, you're sort of doing it hypnotically, so you're not thinking, you're just getting on with it, and your mind wanders, so we're in like a daydream state. And so I've noticed there's a lot of intuition around cleaners, factory workers, long distance, anything that involves repetition, like you're trying to work out big maths sum or something, and he's saying, to ask for confirmation, he said to trust your intuitive side. Right, oh, here we go. I've got to give you a dog that's got, and I hope there's a dog breeds, and every single year for the past 20 years I've been saying the same thing, I'm learning dog breeds this year. I think it's some kind of little terrier or toy dog that's got like little floppy ears, relatively long hair. I'd say that the fur is probably about that long, and it's ginger and white. Okay, this dog belongs to you. And he's saying there's a surprise coming because there's going to be a black one as well as a ginger and white one. And you haven't got the black one. Do you know it makes a ginger and white one? There's a black one coming as well. So presumably dogs. What else do we have to say? Kind of model making. Oh yeah, the other thing he said was he wanted to do model making. I saw matchsticks being glued together, then they were showing me he wanted to do. So if they're saying someone's wanted to do it, doesn't look how they're necessitated. I did see little matchsticks being glued together and I came in boxes, but then I was also looking at a train set as well. You might need to check that. What else do you have to say? Microwave jams and chutneys and pickles, and sold them at tabletop sale WY2 and gave away things to tombolas and raffle prizes. But I got stomachache in the end, and there was a pancreas problem. I've written it down, so you might check this. Oh, okay. Anything you want to ask them? Okay. Have a think. Hold on, no, I haven't finished yet. Just 2 seconds. What am I doing at this house? Is this your house, I wonder? So I'm just trying to zoom in and zoom out the picture I've got. I can see. Right, okay, they're showing me a house at the moment where there's a quiet two-way road. It's not a one-way street or anything. I can see it so clearly. I wish I could. I'm being shown it's a semi-detached property. I can see like either magnolia petals or blossom petals in the front garden. They're blowing in the air in front of this house, and I think one might have a garage port, or you can have somewhere that you have a driveway where you can pull in, and you could put your car further in and the other side hasn't. Is this your house at the moment? Would you recognise this place, please? And also I've got prims, could be Primsden, Primrose, Primslands, Prims something. Okay, I might have moved on. Yeah. Right, can I just rattle this up? Can I open this one up to the audience, please? I'm just going to reiterate that. I'm showing them a semi-detached property in a two-way street. It's quiet. I can't see cars going past, but I know you can drive both ways. At the front garden, in front of the both properties, is why I'm trying to work out which one's the more significant, the one on the right or left, as I'm looking at it. There's like magnolia petals and blossom petals in the air, but on the right, as you're standing looking at this semi-detached, on the right-hand side is like a white structure that I believe would be used. You could put your car in there, or you could drive it. It'd be big enough to get a vehicle into, even though I can't see a car on the drive. And in the back, okay, thanks. And in the back garden, there is a shed that's got a weather vane on it, and the weather vane looks it's got a man with a wheelbarrow, and it just spins round. and I'm coming over this way. Tell her I grew my own tomatoes and I was quite well known for it, and then they know who I'm with. Can I link? I think I might be with you. Can you? Okay. Can you? Right, well, I know you're. Hold on, just bear. I do know that you're Lynn. Right, so people don't think I've planted people in the audience. Lynn's been coming to my events for years, haven't you? And so I do know your name, and I know you've got a husband and son spirit side, and that's what I do know. But can you just lay it in front of you in the white cardigan? Can I just ask you, do you relate to this? Can you show me John Innes compost for whatever reason? Do you recognise the property?
No.
Do you, Lynn?
No.
You recognise this and it's got...
No, not the carport.
The like, it looks like a carport. It's like, it's either I don't think it's a girl. It's just like this white thing. Unless it's there now and it wasn't there before. Is anyone recognising this particular setup? And also not necessarily the address. So don't add it all up together. But there's either Primsland, Primrose, Prinsland, or something that sounds like that. Please. But the back garden, the shed with what's really key amongst this is the shed with the weather vane on in the back garden. Is on about John Innes I'm beginning to wonder John is the name that's important because of the John Innes compost. And the tell them I grew my own tomatoes. Okay, can I sorry? Oh no, there should be a bit more to it than that. Okay, let me just bear with me 2 seconds. Let's see if I can get a bit more. Have you ever lived in Primsland, Primrose, or anything, Prince's Road, or anything that sounds remotely like that? Who's Stanley? Stanley?
My dad's brother's son.
Right.
My dad used to go to the
Okay.
I don't recognise the names.
You don't recognise the rest? Just yes or no, do you know if your uncle lived in a semi-detached home? Did he have anything to do, can you vaguely recall a Primsland, or Princess or Princess or Prims something land? Okay, I'm seeing Berry Hill Industrial Estate, that's Droitwich. Any links to Droitwich, please? I'm definitely with you. Okay. Right. Like I said, they come through in a strange order. They're going back to Droitwich. Don't worry about the making sense of the house, because sometimes they do really weird things that completely, like when my grandmother died, I thought the old bag would have turned up saying, I'm Marjorie Matthews, and Julie saw me every day after school and tell her about the toy rabbit she's got on her bed and all this sort of stuff. And all she did was turn up in a little budget church talk, and took her 27 years to say that. So I keep an open mind. It's not what you'd expect them to say. We kind of have a running commentary what we think they'd say, and also the order in which they come through. And it doesn't always happen that way. So if you can remember this, would be great, because I won't have a clue what I said. Primsland, or something along those lines is significant. It might be interesting to find out where your uncle used to live and find out whether his address that he lived at, or last you remember, or the most significant house he lived in, now looks like the one I've described.
He lived in Devon.
Okay. So you wouldn't necessarily, unless you get on Google Maps, you ain't going to know, really, are you? To be by spy.
My dad was a Devonshire man, but he was in Droitwich all the time.
Okay. Just going back to Stanley, who's your uncle, was he in Devon
Yes.
as well? Right. So you say, Paignton?
Yeah, that's my nan and grandma.
Right. I said where, and they showed me a red beach, which I associate with painting, I think, I'm not the right place. Oh, were you? Who was the tool? I said, I've just heard I was a tool setter. Right, I've definitely got that here as well then. He's taking it all a bit serious. I want to get a pencil and stick it by my ear and sort of start scratching his head a bit, thinking, you know, that as far as your dad would have been concerned, there's only one type of spirits, and that would be at the bar, and he'd rather be having a game of, never mind tarot cards, he'd rather be playing, well, somebody was playing normal playing cards, because that's exactly what I'm seeing in my head. I feel like I'm playing sevens or patience or something, that anything would do. He goes, I like that as well. We were playing dominoes earlier. He said he liked to do things that just were in the moment. 2 seconds, I need you to... I wanted to say, your mother's here and she's still doing, I feel like I'm doing crocheting or something involving needles. Okay, who's the mother figure? Like his, would have done crocheting, I've got like a hook, don't know what that is. It's crocheting or what it is, it's not knitting needles or a normal sewing, but she's still doing the crochet and she can do anything, macrame, and she's a bit mad about house plants. I've seen a spider plant, I've seen cacti and some kind of African violet or and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds like with us.
Right. Well, maybe he's just gotten his broomstick and flown here for the night from your mum's house then. Legally, when I pick up on health issues, I say see the appropriate medical profession, not a psychic medium, because I don't get a telegram from God. But you need to drink more water. I've got headaches with you, and it's okay. Sometimes it's caffeine, sometimes it's people stressed or nocturnal tooth grinding, and sometimes it's just because we get headaches. Nothing seriously wrong, but I feel like you do need to get more water down you, and you've been told that before. Abide with me. Is that a hymn? It's a hymn, isn't it? I kind of want to bellow singing out. Abide with me. Listen, I don't know. I mean, yeah. All they do is chuck holy water at me. So I'm not serious. But anyway, I've got to abide with me. Okay, sorry, he's now I kind of want to, before he sits down, your dad, it's almost like, it's like sitting down, putting up his trousers to sit down, and then he's leaning across this table that's got like this round wooden, you know those marbles, I think it's called solitaire or something, where you have to leave one marble in the middle, and I'm asking, why are you showing games, dominoes, solitaire? And one thing I do know about that sort of thing is that when you're playing those games, you can't be thinking of anything else. You're in the moment. And so I'm thinking, maybe I'm putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5. But if you need to try and switch off, they do the brown coat at the back there, listen to this, because you do well to listen to this bit of advice. You need to switch off because there's too much going on in your head. Then it's on about just having a game of kind of like solitaire or Ludo or anything. Even Hungry Hippos are banging away now, all snatching these marbles. He's also saying, without our health, we've got nothing. And trust me, I've had quite a few health problems myself, but he's wanting to rub your shoulder blades, the upper back ache, and I think it's a little bit muscular. I'm going to rub your shoulder blades. I'm trying now. letter of his name?
His nickname T, his real name E.
He's not Tony, was he?
No,
No,
Ted.
Okay. Anything you want to ask him?
Is he with Mum? Is he watching over Mum?
Mum as in the mum on the overplane, not the... Well, I'm not going to just say yes or no, I want him to prove it. Thank you. Two seconds, I'm just asking him for clarification. I'm saying if you're with your wife, apart from being here at this precise moment in time, because the great thing about being on the other side, you can be anywhere. If you want to go to Jamaica or, do you know what, I'm going to hang out in Daytona Beach today, or go to that Blancy Farm for Christmas, you can be there like that. Teleportation. But I'm asking him if you, because obviously he's here now, but I'm saying show me what's significant about your mum or where she is. But what he's gone on to describe is my chair. And my chair should be a single armchair opposite the television set, and it's got it's like a light. There's nothing like this in it. It's like a light. A light. It's not quite dusky pink colour. It's not. It's a light colour. It's not all one colour either. The main thing is there should be a white head cover over the back of it, and I want to be king of the remote control, but opposite the TV, and his chair should still be there now, and then no one sits in it because he sits in it. And she talk. Another thing, you might have to ask your mum this. She talks to him all the time, and I'm on about out loud as well. She probably won't. If you asked her, I'll eat my own head, and that's going to take some doing. It's big enough. if she doesn't say yes, I do. And do you want a cup of tea? Well, it's not. It says cup, but it's a mug actually, and it's like a brown mug, and it's got spots on it. It's a brown mug with spots. I can see it really clearly. His mug. She's still got it. Still talks to him now. And just one last thing. You know you can get toothpaste, it's like powder, where you have to put the smoker's toothpaste, pink stuff. I think his toothbrush is still in the bathroom now. And the other thing, I've just got sorry. Careful what comes out my mouth. I was going to say it smell, like he said stench, but it's not a stench, it's a smell of brute aftershave, a waft of strong, I'm pretty convinced that's brute, I can smell aftershave. And I must have. So yes, he is with. Yeah, all right. And I don't think he There's a cat. He don't like cats much. There's a black cat I can see at the corner of
My sister's cat probably passed her.
Oh well, this cat's annoying him. It's like saying, "Get rid of this cat." Was it a name like Monty or Mitzi? Max. Well, the cat's doing his head in. You don't even get any peace up there. So much for rest in peace. Anything you want to ask Dad?
Is he okay?
They always are. They always are. In 20 years, I've only ever come across two people that weren't, and there were two different situations. One is because someone here was grieving so much that they couldn't. If you can imagine looking through a one-way mirror and seeing someone really suffering, they don't have much peace if they're seeing someone really struggling here. And the other person was that she felt bad that her and her friends were killed in a road traffic accident, but it was her idea to go out that night. And I had to say to them, look, it's not your fault, you know. And then once they know that that's okay, then they can kind of get on with it already. But they're always fine, no matter how they came to be there, which takes a bit of get regularly minded, to be honest with you. But still, that's
Is he with my brother?
Was he a military man?
My dad was years ago.
Did you wear a beret though, your dad?
Yeah, he did.
And they wear it. Actually, Dad, I'm seeing oh, so just 2 seconds, because I know we need to go come up for air and fly for the bar and the loo and everything else. But did your brother have a? No, I don't want to ask that. What I've got is sudden passing, heart, was it heart rate?
Bronchitis.
It's sudden crossing over. I'm quite young, he's 40s, 47?
No, he was 50s.
He's not Michael, is he?
David.
Did they say that earlier on? I can't remember what they said. I mentioned David or not. They all get to read, just like we spend time with our family here, they do, and then go off and mooch around and do their own thing and then come back. One last thing. They just showed me Birmingham University, then I was looking at rugby posts, then I was getting, I don't know about engineering tonight, but anyway, some kind of engineering degree and sports science degree. Have you got 2 boys, please? Is one of them at Birmingham or went to Birmingham Uni or did anything to do with sport or rugby? Remember that, just in case. On that note, probably all gasping for a drink, so much for my timekeeping. I'll be back in about 20 odd minutes. Thank you.
No, not spoken.
Sorry.
Full night.